I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is January 22nd, Wednesday, 2024. Hope you had a good day today. So, like I said yesterday, you got to watch yesterday's video. I said that we were coming up here to this gap. Whoops. We're coming up to this gap here. Ultimately, that high right there that we ran through yesterday. So we gapped up, right? We used that gap that we were at as support, which was right there. I wanted to see 50% of the daily imbalance used as support as well. If I drag that out, you'll see that we opened up, we came down, closed, and then this next candle just literally opened at 50% right there. Rushed for that gap. All right, still sleeping though. And then pushed up to the next gap, which is what? Which is that right there. And as you can see here, this daily imbalance right here, this 50% here, if you take a look at that on another time frame, you'll see here, I'll just do it here. Just to bring in today, you'll see that here's that 50%. If I was to drag this out, right? All right, see where 50% is? Right there. All right, so we use that. Well, there's a lot to say. Just give me a second. So, what's it called? So we use the midnight level. That's very key in today because of the fact that it's a birdie day. It's just floating. It's constantly, this is a buy program. This is manipulation at its finest. It's just constantly buying. All right, buyers and sellers didn't fucking do that. But what happens is that if you look at the midnight level in the background on the 15-minute over here, you'll see that we come below it and we come above it and we use it as support. I mean, look at that. Do you notice these things? I mean, man, that's like to the head, right? So that's the opening range for the midnight level. Anyways, so while we're coming up, I'm gonna drag this one too. This is kind of hard to. All right, so there's. Oh, just give me a second. I'm trying to make this video short, man. I'm done making videos. See this? This is that bearish and daily imbalance right there, which is. So we have the big one, the December 18th, and we have the little one, right here, which is December 27th, right? So I got two of them highlighted. I know this is ugly, but just give me a second. But you can see that the midnight level is literally right on top. It's bouncing on top of that, right? So that being said, I'm just gonna move this over. This is way too ugly for me. But I was just trying to explain that, okay, so we got above that one, right? We got above that one, right? And then, which I think I mentioned yesterday, and then we continued up here. We got to that gap. Let me bring in the 1 minute, man. I mean, it's just crazy. All right, so here, we had a nice little sell off right here, pre 9 o'clock, right? And then if you do the measurement from there to there, you'll see to 1 and 1.5 right there, right? Notice how it's 1 and 1.5. If it's really bullish, it isn't going to go past 1 and 1.5 in general speaking, right? And then they swept those two guys right there, but they left that. So it's a dangling carrot, right? And that's just on purpose. And then we are sitting at the 930. So let me move this shit, man. Let me just move this over. So, what was I gonna say? Damn, man. So oversold here. All right, and then 930 happens. Indecisive candle, right? But what's really happening? Well, we are respecting that gap. We're at a gap. So we reached that gap. So we're really bullish. And when they're really bullish, they want to hurry up and they want to reach the liquidity above, right? So they're trying to make sure that they don't get out. It's very hard to fit all this on the screen. They're trying to, they've already just taken out that swing that I just spoke about. That's this gap. But the next gap, that's what they're trying to get to because of the fact that they got the liquidity sitting there. So they're trying to rush for them. So in that sense, we've all see the midnight level. We've already hit it right here. So we're not worried about that. And in a bullish scenario with the gap, again, opening right by the gap, it just pushes off, right? So if it pushes off and retraces back, there's your first imbalance sitting right there beautifully. That's a resistance turn classic support. Why does it stop on a dime? Well, because they're going to come underneath more for the breakout traders, right? Anyone who just had a stop or just momentum, whatever the case is, they're coming back. You can see us. We don't even have a body touching it. All wicks right there. Where are you taking that? Well, you're taking it. So I projected from here to here. See that? So this swing, instead of just these down candles, I'm using this whole swing here. That's another way to do it. And then you can see over here, we get to a 1 and 1.5. Take a look at this, 1 and 1.5 right here, and we reach that level right there beautifully. And there was something else. Well, yeah, if I drag back that imbalance, we just do that for a second. You can see that we do tap that 50% of that big bearish imbalance. Now, which is fine. It's not a big deal. But the big deal is that we get to a 1 and 1.5. So when you get a nice retracement back, and then X marks the spot, we push off again. All right, and then we break out. We break out where? So now I got these two down candles measured right here. All right, and then you see 1 and 1.5 again, pops up, retraces back. Let me see if I did this way because that's a little bit cleaner for me. So the last down candle, right? You see, if you measure it, look at it 3 to 3 to 4. So we reach there. It's coupled with the 2 to 2.5 over here. Hello, see that? Retraces back. Why? This is a breakout level. This is another push out. That's a higher low coming right back to squeeze out anybody who broke out trading, right? And then ever since then, it was just pretty much a birdie floating up. So we get the push down. I measured this candle here. We fell short of it being at the 2 to 2.5 here. We fell short of that. But if I did this, you'll see that we are sitting at a 1 to 1.5. Look at the one. Look at the 1.5 right there, and look at the level here. That's damn near perfect, right? So I looked at this structure like this. Yeah, let's see if I can make this fucking easy here. No one's watching the videos, man, so I'm this is not helping. But that was the structure. See that? I know that looks funny, but you're like, "Well, no, dude, that didn't happen. It didn't happen like that. It was a break." Well, that's called manipulation. So let's just do it like this. Well, how the hell did I do that? This is how I make videos long. So retracement back. All right, that's higher high. That's higher low. So this two highs right here. This is still the low. Yes, I know it came down and it went back up, so I made a new high. Then it retraced and it's a speaker. All right, they do that shit to confuse you, but really this is the structure here, right here. All right, and then now we're sinking, which is great because I'm in this trade. Got it up from up here, and we need to break this, which we just did as we're speaking. So, what was I gonna say here? So in these days, you don't fight it, dude. You don't fight it. You don't fight it. You just don't fight it. I've said this many times on this channel. Just don't fight it. So basic support resistance, keep it simple. Looking for a higher low to take out some liquidity, like we swept that right here. But guess what? This price action is sitting in 50% of this imbalance. I'm sorry, not imbalance. The wick, which is a gap. So if I'm to show you like this, I'm going to do it here. Here to here. Watch this. All right. Just give me a second. Ooh, fell real short. but it's okay because it's above it, which is fine, and that's quadding it, showing you that it's strength, right? So that's just the understanding, right? And then what's it called? Becomes an oversold here, and then makes a new leg up. So I projected these 3 candles here. You can see the 2 to 2.5 right there. If I was to have done this and this would be a little more accurate there. And you can see here, right? Look at that. 2 to 2.5 right there. And then you're wondering, well, why didn't it come and sweep that? Well, because they're probably building liquidity for later. Again, we are in January, so we broke out. Let me see how I can make this cleaner. We broke out with that example yesterday with that fake trend line that I drew. Go watch yesterday's video. And then we broke out, right? So in this case, they squeezed everybody out they needed to do, right? And if you look on a higher time frame, you could, well, it's even weaker. The 4-hour candle didn't even stop there. And now we are, I'm assuming that we're retracing back down to wipe out breakout traders here. And where does that look like? I know I'm all over the place. Well, we just broke through this level and we used it as support too cleanly. So in my opinion, I'd like to see us come down. Where's another breakout level? Well, the fucking gap today, super. I mean, if that's not manipulation, I don't know what is, but just pushed up. But I talked about an expansion yesterday. So we got an expansion. Now we're looking for a retracement. We're on an overbought here. Look at that. Super. And I'd love to hold this trade. I'm at the top. I'd like to hold this trade down here. Yesterday, when I got out I got out somewhere right here from buying it here. Would have loved to have held it, and I wanted to hold. That was my target, but I just couldn't hold it any longer. But it is what it is. But I want to see this. I want to see this come down into an oversold, because as you see here, we're kind of like staying on the top 50%. That's to show you strength, right? But now I'd like to see just kind of like this, like where we pushed up, and then I'd like to see it come down real quick, like to get to an oversold here. Well, in general speaking, I talked about this daily imbalance here. I want to see it come back to that. So I want to see. So today's Wednesday. We got that expansion. Thursday would be a nice reversal or retracement, unless they want to rush for that high again, which they might, because right now the best idea to holding this trade for me is just tapping into this imbalance. See that 1 hour imbalance? See how it's not tapped yet? Well, I'd like to see Asia and London come in like this. So 2 options tomorrow, or in general, and we have the news tomorrow, so it's going to be rough. So the market could do a lot of shit, and it might dangle this carrot. But in general speaking, I'd like to see this. I'd like to see something like this. Either it bounces from the gap, or maybe the imbalance, and then we just continue up, right? So that's idea 1, for being bullish, and then, or even back to this gap. So this breakout level here, you see that level right there, that high pushed through. We might dangle that carrot, and we might only come to this here or here. So that high, or that high is kind of like what I'm looking at. Now, in the historical data, it does show that we come a little bit lower here. So that should be really interesting. We'll see how it goes. But obviously, if we're bearish, well, let's not say bearish, but like if we decide to like sell off for a while, then I'd like to see them come up one more time and raid that, right? And then I'd like to see them raid that and get up, maybe up into here, squeeze a little bit more, and then pop off down. So what I'm trying to say is this, some shit like this, and then we come down, right? And then if we look at the data, it's gonna be the data shows this, just so you understand. just so you feel me here. The data shows this because we've accomplished this. We did this. This is in it. This is in the cards. This is what it shows. I swear to God. shows this. Sweeping, and then it's off to the races in February. New highs, even. So this should be interesting. But anyways, that being said, so you again in this scenario, if you let the order flow play, it pushes up. It's obviously bullish. The first 30 minutes of a 30-minute, if the first 30 minutes is generally speaking bullish, where are you at? Excuse me. So to 9:30, look at this 30-minute candle. If that doesn't tell you it's bullish, I don't know what does, right? So if that first 30 minutes is bullish, then you're generally gonna close a bullish day, right? But what was I saying? And this opening range gap was large. It was, what was it? This is 913, and this is let's just say it was 713. That would be 200 points, and then minus 50. That's 150 points. So yeah, so I mean it's large, right? So again, and what are they doing? In general speaking, when you get to a situation like this, we know it's going to rush. We know it's going to rush and attack that liquidity because they don't want them to get out. So I would like to see a big sell-off just to wipe out all these breakout traders. Because by here, you're just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy. I mean, like what the fuck? So don't fight it and just catch a higher low. You got your order flow here. If you caught it from here, awesome, right? I understood what was happening here, so I was good. But and then you can use your projections to get out. You can use drives right here, but generally the gap is the most common sense. Now holding for that high, you would have been asked out, obviously, and why did they do that? Why did I sell here? Just to give you an idea. Oh, here's a fire thing I'm going to show you right here. Well, I need to keep this screen on. Fuck. Here, I'll just do it from here. The level was 182 and a quarter or whatever. 0.82 and a quarter. So when it popped right here, look to your left. See these 1, 2, 3 consecutive candles right here on the 4 hour? That's what I use to sell it. 1, 2, 3. See that? See, look to the right. Look to the right. While I'm doing this, look to the right. See it over there? It just taps. It misses the open by a hair, but I use the bottom level, which is 182. Look at the low here. Look up here. Low. I'm talking too much. See this? Low? 0.82 and a quarter. That's where I got in. 0.82 and a quarter. Right there. See that? The low of this candle. So you're just probably like, dude, just draw it. So I should have just drawn. Bam. See that? You see how it hit that level right there? So it's I'm just trying to use this to gauge to where it's gonna stop. Because if you take a look here, we did get inside this wick. You see this wick right here? See this wick? All right, and it's below 50% of it, right? And that was the logic of what I was using to catch the sell. So it depends. It depends because in more normal cases, this thing will just tap in that imbalance and then rip up here, right? But they might dangle this, squeeze them out, build more liquidity, push down to wipe out the buyers, and then pop up, right? Because at that point, people are thinking this is resistance. So that's just logical to me. And look at this. This is just fire right here. So if you go take a look, this is where I get in right here. So when I understand that this is reaching the 2 to 2.5, I have the 1 and a 1.5 here, and then I just hit that level. You see that? And I understood that I was in this wick. that wick that I was talking about. And we have time. Guess what time it is? Watch this. So when you're buying all this and you're holding, good place to hold it is till lunchtime. Here's 12 o'clock right here. Right there in the fucking head. Right there. There's 12. And then it starts to reverse at the macro at the to 12:10, right? And then I literally get in on this candle right here as it's falling. Because I know where the price level is, which I just got done explaining in the blue. And then this wicked above, and then this started rushing down. So boom, beautiful. Was involved right here. Pretty much got in right here. And then I've been holding since, and I'm still holding. So, and what am I doing here? I'm obviously trying to play the 4 hour, like I'm trying to play the higher time frame, so we can come down and wipe out at least the easy breakout traders. You have an imbalance there. Let me zoom in. I know, sorry, there's a lot of shit here. And we haven't tapped that 4 hour imbalance. So take a look. Well, this gap right here, I'd like to see tomorrow close bearish, to be honest. I would like to see that, but we'll see. But there's a lot of confluence in this whole fucking area. Especially you got the opening range gap that's completely empty. So that would make sense. At least 50% of that. You got liquidity sitting right there. Oh, I'm gonna hold it. We'll see. I'm gonna see what happens. But Asia, as you see Asia and London, Asia moving hard like that, that's straight manipulation. Ain't Asians fucking moving the price like that. But again, the logic is that gap coming back to this gap now, breakout level right there. This is just looks kosher to me. Did I make a short video, long video? Yeah, I did. Okay, so that being said, now we got the order flow down. And what else I want to say? I'm missing something. I should project this. We'll do it here while we're here. So I'm going to measure these candles here. And let's just do it that way. And then again, if it's bullish, I'd like to see 1 on 1.5. It might come to 2 to 2.5. This looks right. So we'll see here. And then if I used it like that, just a little bit different. Sweeping all that. Look at that. Look at those 3 lows, higher lows right there. Boom. Right. So yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, if you ask me, I'd like to come to this 2 to 2.5. That would be beautiful, which would then reference that gap. So we have that gap. That to me is a minimum. Again, hopefully this is just dip in here just a little bit and then take off, just to wipe out those high and then break off down, because it's selling off. I'll tell you something right now. It's gonna sell off. It should be selling off. I don't mean like stupid down here or anything, but I mean it should be selling off for a couple days. So on the weekly, I'd like to see this shrink down a little bit, but that high's right there though. You can see the gap on the daily right there. So tomorrow, if it doesn't do it in Asia, either way, I'd like to see it come and tap this fucking area. And there's an imbalance right in here with this gap. I'm going to draw that. I'm going to draw it now. I'm going to include the gap. One second. This is how I make videos long. All right. All right, so definitely. So this was a 1 minute chart. Let's just say all these higher time frames were a 1 minute chart. Wouldn't it make sense to come right back into this inversion? It uses it as an inversion right here. Come right back in it, and we tap in to that daily imbalance. So we tap in. We had the gap right there. Let me move this to the back. And so we have the gap. We have Just this area looks really obvious. So yeah, man. It's back to bullishness because if you take, I was mentioning, looks like they're gonna be bullish. Back to business. So in dollar, kind of creeping down as well. They still got that gap. That should be interesting. So I would like to see dollar shoot the hell up, right? I'd like to really see it shoot up and get in here. Hopefully that can push us down. If you take a look at, I ain't even gonna go into this. I can't even go into this, but let's just do this right here. You had lower lows here with Dow, pushed up. You had, at the time, you had higher lows here with Nas, and you actually had it with S&P. I just didn't fix it, so it was here. This here, right? Yeah, right here. So now you see that. So lower lows here, and then higher lows there, and then selling off here. We had lower highs here, higher highs there. That pushes down, very faint though, and so on. Not really that helpful today, but Dow not even moving. I don't understand what's up with that. Look at that, very small range. Oh my goodness, take a look at this 1 minute chart. Why would anybody want to trade this? I can't even recognize this shit. Look at this shit. Would you want to be involved in that? Look how it's squeezed right there and then just came down. I don't know, man. That shit is, if that's not ugly to you, I have, God bless your heart. S&P, man. Wow. Wow. I called that wedge. Said that was probably going to be a wedge, and sure enough, busted right through it. So we're fucking bullish, buddy. And then we stopped at that right there. Oh, they conveniently tag. Look how they hit that candle with no wick. See this? See this? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That seems perfect to me. It's pretty obvious, right? They just sealed that. Now guess what? They've been buying. There's nobody selling right here. It's all buyers right here. Fuck these people. It's all buyers right here. So we're on an overbought. What do you think they're trying to do? Don't you think they would try to come down and wipe out some of these buyers? Come on. It makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, they missed it. Oh, by a hair, huh? Why does it look like it hit it? It didn't hit it. Did I draw right? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Definitely hit it. Yeah, I drew. Or was that just the high? Did it hit the open? Very close. Wow. That's crazy. Anyways, that's not really that important. But let's see here. And I think I've said enough, right? So what else can I say here? Man, because what I'd really like to see is this. Or this. I'd like to see, you see these consecutive candles, and then we get this bearish. We push up, fails, and falls, and breaks those candles. Just right here. Consecutive candles, 1, 2, 3. We push down, which we're kind of pushing down now. And I'd like to see it stay where it is, and then I'd like to see it sell off, something like this. All right, I'd like to see that. That's what I'd like to see here. You can see 1, 2, 3. You can see all that, right? So, yeah, man. I would really like to come in here. I would, but for me, this should be a minimum. We'll see how it goes, and we're still selling off, so should hold it. All right. I've talked about everything, right? But yeah, this engagement's got to step up, man. I don't know. So you guys take care and God bless.